When I say let it go, fall forward. Fall forward when I say let it go. Inhale. And let it go. That's it.
I would like to just throw in another quick impression for you guys, because I love doing impressions. How many people here remember the Beverly Hillbillies? See, I remember the secretary to Mr. Drysdale. So if she was here today, her name is Jane, well, her name is Nancy Culp, I do my and we called her Jane Hathaway on the Beverly Hillbillies. And she loved Jekyll. And she would go, Mr. Clovis, I'm absolutely delighted to be here at the retreat. And I'm so happy that Jethro and Ellen May and Granny and the whole crew are also here. We'll be back.
One more.
I have a question that's I don't mean to change the climate of the room, but there was something that's very important that you were talking about. I was wondering, can you address this with maybe some of the younger ladies that are seeking their PhDs or their JDs or whatever? Because what you were talking about is that so many of us have paid a price to get that. And so now when we see the younger generation go in and just get it, and it's all about the money. For example, when I was in law school, I was in a class where I was called one of the darkies. It was an example, criminal case. What would happen if one of the darkies of the darkies did this? And even having the professors taking me off to the side and saying, you people do better than the teacher. And so I think sometimes, and I think sometimes, I don't know, maybe you can address that in the fact that it's not so much that they have to come to us and say, thank you, but they need to understand that it wasn't easy. And so maybe you may be able to go in and get your degree, and you got the money, all that. I remember taking a can of corn and eating that all week long, because that's all I had, you know. And so I think it helps us to understand and be more appreciative of the degrees we get, and that's why we don't mind, you know, not having all that up there, because, you know, and no offense to you, young lady, because you would certainly have
no, because I want to
job.
piggyback, because my question was very similar to that. Can I ask
Yes.
piggyback to that? Because that's one of the things with me. I didn't know about the struggle until my first year of college, because my parents, it was too painful for them to talk about.
Yes.
So they dropped the ball. So it's a generation like me who we're not even learning. Like, we know, you only teach the basics in elementary school and in secondary school. We only get the basics, and we are at such a disadvantage. And if you're not taking African American studies, sociology, or going to somewhere like Howard, you miss it. So my question is, how do we bridge the gap? Because I talk to my young people about it all the time. We've laid down slave ships. You know, we reenacted it. I want you all to feel what this was like. Touch each other. Think about it. Think about laying in your butt. And that's what I can do to my young people. But it's my generation. We missed it. We missed it, but we don't get it. So how do you bridge that gap? We gotta be taught. We don't know. So we can't pass it on to our children, and we're not grateful. And my parents, I didn't even know they had gone through Ku Klux Klan rallies and been a part of that. My aunt told me that when I started to ask questions, but everybody's not asking. So it's part of us, but I think a lot of the older generation has dropped the ball. So what do we do about that? That's my...
Well, I think one of the things that we can do about it is to have conferences like this.
Yes.
Because, you know, you're hearing this, you know, you're hearing our stories. And I think this is why I tell my story of what I had to go through in here to get here.
We're winding down, and I'm telling you, I had no clue that this was going to be like this, Sharon. Oh my goodness gracious, this is just absolutely wonderful.